So why do we need good proprioception work when doing our sport? Mainly because we want to work on our body in terms of the neuromuscular firing patterns that are going on. And the best way to achieve that is going to be through a lot of what we call plyometric activity and single leg activity. And to give you guys kind of some, general overview in terms of different variations on exercises you can do, which can really target those things for you in terms of looking at plyometrics and single leg activity. We're going to take it from having access to nothing to integrating stuff like a bench, a therapy ball, a Bosu, and a TRX into the mix here. So, like I said, again, this is all designed around really what that understanding is on proprioception work and how it can help us with our sport, how we can make ourselves stronger, faster, better, more efficient with our skill set that we already have in order to do the activity we're trying to perform. And that has to do with looking at those neuromuscular firing patterns and really not allowing one side of our body to dominate in the activity, but really feeling like both, lower limbs can really have equal amount of distribution in terms of strength and conditioning. And the same goes for our upper body as well. So like I said, we're going to take a look at things going from having access to nothing to integrating some other tools and modalities here. So the first thing we're going to look at is obviously a jump squat, okay? So for those that maybe have bad knees, hips, and stuff like that, highly recommend that, if you do have aches and pains, injuries, just maybe double check with me prior to doing the activity, just to make sure you're not going to create some type of other injury or make something feel worse. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to stand actually a little bit towards the sides, and we're going to look at our jump squat. This is a plyometric activity, and you can do it simply first from the floor. So for those that maybe can't get into that full jump squat yet, but want to still work on exactly what we're talking about in terms of those muscle firing patterns, you're going to take it this way. So here I am, I'm going to come down into my squat, and then I'm going to come up, and I'm going to actually go up onto the toes. I'm going to come down and come back up onto the toes. So that's a great way to start to integrate before you start doing the actual jump squat, okay? Then what we're going to look at is we're going to look at your lunge. This is a split jump lunge. So now I want to take a look at that lunge, and we're going to go through what's called a split jump lunge. So I'm going to come into my lunge stance, and for some, you may need to initially start with more of just kind of an easy skip to get that action going. For others, what you're going to do is you're going to be here, and I do use my arms a little bit. You're going to go ahead and push yourself straight up into that plyometric lunge position. The next activity you can try is what's known as the skaters. This involves actually more of side-to-side lateral movement patterns, and from here what we're going to do is we're going to step out, and the idea is to try to really balance on one leg, bring the hand down to the floor, come back, and do it to the other side. If you really struggle with balance, you could go ahead and just kind of tap the floor from side to side, just tap it just a little bit. But the idea is to really keep that back leg off the floor and allow for that leg to really kind of hold that activity. So there's 3 right there that you can do that are more challenging kind of for the lower body. We have our jump squat, our split jump lunges, and then you have what's called the skaters, which is going to, like I stated, more of that lateral side-to-side motion. So now what I want to do is I want to actually take it a step further, and I want to go ahead and I want to integrate it with a step or a bench. What you can do with that is you can simply either use your stairwell at home, if you have a sturdy coffee table, a sturdy chair, something with no arms that's not going to roll, or if you do actually have a bench or a plyometric box, you could utilize this as well. Okay, so now I have my bench, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing some step-up activities to, again, really work that single leg movement pattern. Then we're going to add in some jumps to it to go ahead and really work a little bit more when it comes to those muscle firing patterns. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to put our foot flat on the bench. We're going to come up onto the ball of the foot, and from here, like I stated, I do use my arms a little bit for motion and movement. I'm going to come drive the leg up and come right back down. drive the leg up, and come right back down. Now, for those that want to actually take it a little step further, you would add the hop in. So as I come up, I essentially then am going to hop from there. So from here, I come up, I hop, and I come back down. I hop, come back down. So again, that starts to add in a little bit more of that plyometric activity. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to work actually the curtsy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leg, I'm going to step it off to the side, bring my body back up, working my balance, coming back down, and then coming back up. Again, I'm actually just tapping that toe to the floor and then coming back up. Another one that you could do from here would be to start to get a little bit more into a plyometric squat where you're going up and over the bench. So in this one with the squat, I'm going to be coming up and over the bench. You're going to go ahead and stay nice and low, but the idea is to really start working those firing patterns for you. So from here, I'm coming up and I'm coming over. I'm coming up and I'm coming over. So again, now I'm really working those firing patterns in that side-to-side motion. Now, the next thing that we can start to do is we can start to work on balance a little bit further by using either a therapy ball or a Bosu. Now, we're going to start with the Bosu first because that's an easy one to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop to the ground and we're going to take a look at the therapy ball. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the Bosu first. The first one we can do is we can kind of go back to our jump squat position, and we're going to actually now do some landing onto the Bosu. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down nice and low, land onto the Bosu, react, and then come back as well, keeping that chest up nice and high. Kind of hold and stick it, and coming back. So again, what we're trying to do is really fire off the quads and allow the ankles to have really good mobility happening there, allowing all those firing patterns to happen. Then you can take it actually to the side, and again, we're going to stay nice and low, but we're going to come up and over in this position here. So again, right there, we've got two nice exercises we can do with the Bosu that really involve a lot of muscle firing patterns to happen, a lot of proprioception work that gets to be done here. And as you can hear, the heart rate does get to be up a lot higher, than it would just with some of the stuff we've already been doing. Now, you can integrate other exercises into it. Those just happen to be two of them. And then if you wanted, you can do some stuff on the dome side as well, but that will be more for balance training, which I've addressed in other videos and other posts. So now what we want to do is we want to take a look at using the therapy ball as a means to go ahead and doing some stuff that can be very basic and simple to target at least some single leg activities. Okay, so now I have my therapy ball, and the two that I want to look at actually target more glutes and hamstrings. So we're going to come down onto the floor. I've shown this before in my hamstring video, but we're going to review it and add it in here real quick. This is a great single leg activity that you can do to target the back of the legs. So we're going to come down onto the floor. We're going to put our legs straight out in front. And from here, we're going to lift up, lift one leg up, curl the ball in and out 10 times each leg, really working that single leg pattern. And then from here, you can go ahead and place the feet flat on the ball, leg goes back up again, and we're popping that butt up and down for 10 times, also working a lot of the back of the legs there as well. So there are my two that are really great for balance, proprioceptive work when looking at using a therapy ball for more of the back of the legs in terms of the hamstrings and the glutes. Now, actually, I'm going to show you guys just a few real quick using the TRX. For those of you that actually are going to the gym and maybe have access to the TRX as well and want to integrate that into kind of all the work that we've been talking about when it comes to really working those muscle firing patterns to really start making that leg feel really tight and strong for whatever sport it is you're doing right now. So what we want to do now is we're going to use the TRX for this next move. So this is an actual way to do a jump squat with a TRX, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down into your squat position, and then from there you're going to apply some pressure into the TRX, and you're going to actually jump up. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to come down, and then you're going to explode right up into that jump squat. So again, going back to those squats that we initially did, doing them on the floor, coming up onto the toes, and then jumping up into the air. You could actually add this in as well. It makes for a nice variation, to say the least. Now what I want to do is I want to take a look at lunges. So from here, what we can do is we can do a couple of things. You can work with the TRX a little differently in the sense of, and I've shown this again in balanced videos regarding the ankle, where you're coming in and you're doing a lot more single leg activity, and you're allowing for that single leg to really kind of now get the strength that it needs versus feeling like one side of the body is a lot stronger. So this is just a simple TRX balance lunge where I'm coming in and I'm trying not to put too much pressure on that upper body, but I'm allowing myself just to go ahead and go back. You could mix this in with a curtsy as well. So from here, exactly what I just did with the balance lunge. The only difference is now I'm taking it over to the side and really allowing for that outer glute to get stronger through the curtsy position. The next one that you can do is what we call more of a suspended lunge, where you're going to take both foot cradles. You're going to kind of overlap them a little bit. You're going to go ahead. You're going to take one foot. So I'm going to take my left leg. I'm going to put one foot into the TRX. And then from here, I'm going to kind of come out a little further, get my balance. Once I have my balance, I'm going to drop back into that lunge, and then I'm going to come up from here. And again, if you want to make it harder, this is where you can add in those hops and really start to challenge your balance, challenge those muscle firing patterns a lot more. So there you guys go. There's a few exercises going from having absolutely nothing to integrating a bench or a step to integrating a therapy ball, a Bosu, and even a TRX into a couple of exercises to give you guys ideas on what it really means on how to really work proprioception, balance activities, and increasing those muscle firing patterns into your workouts. So this way, when it's time to go hit those sports that you love so much, whether it's trail running, running the road, cycling, skiing, whatever it is, you just feel more balanced on both sides of your body because now the body is sharing the strength equally versus feeling like one side is more dominant than the other. Like I said, if you have questions about which exercises might be appropriate for you based upon what's currently going on with you in terms of any injuries, flare-ups, anything of that nature, please write a comment below. Let me know so I can assist you because a lot of this stuff isn't really just for the beginner. Some of this stuff is a little bit more advanced and does require a lot of balance and coordination. So guys, happy weekend to everyone out there. And like I said, if you have questions or comments, please drop them below and I will talk to you all soon. All right, for now, this is Dr. Heather signing off.